So I would just like to go through this week's iXL with you, which I believe is Z6, Z8, and Z9. So let's do a few of each. So Z6 is multiplying a polynomial with more than one term by a monomial with one term. So here you have negative 2u, just writing it down, negative 2u times negative 2u squared minus 3u. So you should do your work on paper and then enter it on the computer. So first you're multiplying, you're doing basically distributive property. So you can multiply the coefficients. Negative 2 times negative 2 would be 4. U times u squared, you could do it to the side if you need to, so it's like u to the first times u squared. U squared is u times u. So overall this would be u to the third. And then be careful with your signs here. So negative 2 times negative 3 becomes positive 6. And then you have u times u, so that would be u to the second power. So you would just go enter this on the computer. 4u cubed plus 6u squared. So we're going to do 4u. To get the second power, I'm going to hit shift and 6 at the same time. And actually we need third power on this one. To get out of it, you're going to go use that little right arrow key and then plus 6u to the second power and then click submit. And let's also do Z8 is the next one. So here you're multiplying two binomials. This is where you're using that double distribution, or you could call it the FOIL method. So let me just write the problem down and then we can do it together. Z minus 3 times 4z minus 3. So I like to use FOIL, like first, outer, inner, last. So when you multiply the first in each set of parentheses, z times 4z is 4z squared. The outermost would be z times negative 3. So negative 3z. The innermost would be negative 3 times 4z, which is negative 12z. And then the last in each parenthesis at the end would be negative 3 times negative 3, which is positive 9. However, if you enter it like this on iXL, you'll probably get it wrong because you need to combine the like terms. So in here, we need to add negative 3z to negative 12z. Everything else stays the same. And you have two negatives when you're adding them. So it's like you owe somebody $3, you owe somebody $12. Overall, you're in the negative 15z. And then you can go enter this into the computer. 4z squared minus 15z plus 9. So for z, again, shift and 6 will bring you to the exponent, and then the right arrow key will bring you out of it. And then we're minus 15z plus 9. And all the problems in this section should be similar to this. And then we also have Z9, which is the special cases, so you'll probably notice something interesting about these. Maybe we'll do two of them together. So we have p minus 1 squared. So let's write it down and then write out what it means. So that doesn't mean it's just p squared plus 1. So this is what it's not, because if you do that, you're missing out the middle term. I always say it's kind of like making a sandwich, but you forget to put something inside. So what this means is p minus 1 times itself. So you're going to write out p minus 1 times p minus 1. Then you do have p squared first, right? But then you also have an outer and an inner. So you have minus 1p, and then the inner is also minus 1p. The last would be negative 1 times negative 1, which is positive 1. When you combine your like terms here, the p's do not cancel out. So negative 1p and another negative 1p will be negative 2p in the middle. And then you can go enter this in. P squared minus 2p plus 1 minus 2p plus 1. And then there's one more special case. So So I'm just writing this one out. 3q plus 3 times 3q minus 3. So this one we don't have to like write it out again because it's not squared, but you will notice something interesting. So 3q times 3q would be 9, and q to the second power. The outer would be negative 9q. The inner would be positive 9q. And the last would be 3 times negative 3 is negative 9. So in this case, the middle terms actually do cancel out because you have negative 9q's and positive 9q's. They end up being 0q. You don't have to write that. You can just write your final answer as 9q squared minus 9. And all the problems in this section should be like one of those two that we did. But if you do have questions, just email me. Have a good week.